Live from the couch with Carolina Bermudez, John Elliott, and Lisa Kearney.
And are kids more spoiled than ever? A self-proclaimed mean mom says parents are to blame. And a spoiled kid alert, yours may be one of them. Why American kids are being called the brattiest in the world and what you can do about it. I was
my kid.
I was. So we're going to tackle a tough issue on the couch coming up this morning. Do mean moms raise better kids? How to avoid raising spoiled, rotten kids.
Oh, interesting. Where's Carolina? She's getting ready. She's getting ready to pump it up for our Fit Minute. We're going to take we'll take a break, and she'll be back with that in just a bit.
That's right. And while she is doing that, we are going to be here on the couch.
A topic that's got a lot of people talking here in our studio, and I bet at home too. Spoiled kids. According to a recent study, we're raising a generation of spoiled kids.
And one of those parents joining us today to discuss this issue, Denise Schapani, writer and editor for more than 20 years and the author of Mean Moms Rule. Welcome.
Yes,
I'm very excited to talk about this. Like I said, I was flipping through your book and noticed a lot of interesting things. You're like this mom that's like, just own it. But at what point do we notice we're raising spoiled children?
Yes. You know, I think what's happened is we're seeing the results now in young adults of a generation or more of what's called helicopter parenting, or as you mentioned, snowplow parenting. And we're seeing these kids, young adults who can't seem to manage life on their own. So I think a lot of parents of young kids like I have are looking at that and saying, I don't want that to happen. So what do I do to reverse that trend in this generation?
Some of these examples you come up with convict me, because you talk about we do everything for our kids. And I remember when I was a kid, they didn't do everything for me, but I had a lot of brothers and sisters. Why are we doing this?
Well, I think a lot of it is we're busy, or we perceive that we're a lot busier, and you start out, say, making the sandwich for your kid when he's 2, and which makes perfect sense, and then when he's 8 and perfectly capable of making a peanut butter sandwich, we're still doing it for him, and we're still tying his shoes, and we're still making sure his homework is in his backpack. So there isn't a chance for the kid to sort of own their own successes or their failures. So everything's taken care of.
I notice as a doer, if you will, that it's just easier for me to just do it than tell you. So it requires patience for these parents.
It does. It does. It requires patience, and it requires what I call taking the long view and saying, you know, what's the end result that I want? You know, do I want a child who, you know, can't do these things on their own, or who is always looking to blame somebody else for something that they've done wrong? Like, I don't have my homework because my mother didn't put it in my backpack. You know, you need to sometimes let those things, let them fail, and so then they learn that lesson.
Well, yeah, you talk about the end result, and it's too, when you follow this through and some of these studies through, you have kids in college now that just can't even handle life, let alone face the rigorous academic challenge of a university.
You have an example like those students at Boston University last year who there was a fire in their, I don't know if it was a dorm building or a frat house, and they texted their parents before they called 911. It's sort of like not knowing what to do. That's an extreme example, but
they know that mom and dad
has always been behind them.
So now do this.
Yes.
Do you think do we want to raise spoiled kids?
No, nobody does. Everybody has their best intentions at heart. You know, everybody is trying to do the best they can. So I'm not trying to, you know, with Mean Moms Rule, vilify parents who are really all trying to do the best they can. But we do have to, you know, look at the end results and think where we want this to go and what generation we want to raise to take over the world someday.
So for those parents who are sitting there watching, oh my gosh, or just at home like, okay, this is my child. We've reached that point. Let's do something about it. What's your suggestion?
Well, I think you have to not be afraid. I think a lot of parents are afraid, starting when they're little, but even when they're a little older, afraid of saying no. You're afraid of the tantrum when they're little. You're afraid of the pushback when they're a little older. But what you have to realize is they get over it much quicker than you think. And if you're consistent and firm and kind of stay above the fray, you know, don't get down there and get emotional with them. Just say, I'm sorry you feel that way, but no, you're not getting the designer boots. That's not something we can afford. Or no, you can't, you know, go to the R-rated movie even if your friend says so. So I think if you just remain consistent, which is the hardest thing to do, but the most effective, then I think you're on the right track.
And how old are your kids?
7 and 9.
So we'll check back in about 10 10, 12 years.
Yeah, give me a call and see. Yeah.
You call yourself the mean mom, but you also say, I do give my kids ice cream. I'm not that kind of mean.
Fan of ice cream, yeah, but not before dinner.
Right. And they can help you scoop it, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is such a good topic.
Thank
I mean,
you.
as a parent, I feel it and I appreciate it. It's very good advice. Denise Schapani.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Fantastic.
Yes, you did.
Mean Moms Rule. Thanks for stopping by.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And remember to check out our website at cbsnewyork.com/thecouch for lots of great information on this. And here again is her book, Mean Moms Rule. Thanks again for being here. Now, in today's Q from the Couch, we're asking, what is your